Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we peel back the layers of corporate filings and reveal the juicy, or sometimes not so juicy, secrets. This time, we're diving into Hilltop Holdings Incorporated's latest report, and let's just say the 23rd of October 2025. Might have been a little more eventful than a typical autumn day. Get ready for a peek behind the curtain at Hilltop Holdings Incorporated and what their latest moves might mean for their future. Before we jump in, if you are all about getting clear, no-nonsense insights from these corporate documents, hit that subscribe button. Also, if you want to join a community of like-minded folks dissecting these filings, check out our Discord linked in the description below. So what we have here is a Form 8K filing. Think of this as a company's way of telling the Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC for short, that something significant has happened that investors should know about. It is not a regular quarterly or annual report, but more of an everything else important that just happened kind of document. The key date here is the 23rd of October 2025. This is the day the important event that they're reporting on took place. Hilltop Holdings Incorporated is incorporated in Maryland, which is a state where many companies choose to set up their legal structure. Their main headquarters are located in Dallas, Texas. Now this part tells us what is actually traded on the stock market. For Hilltop Holdings Incorporated, their common stock, which they call common stock par value $0.01 per S hair, is traded under the ticker symbol H on the New York Stock Exchange, or NYSE for short. So if you've ever heard of NYSE Texas, that's where you'll find this company's stock being bought and sold. The meat of this particular filing, the really interesting part, is under this section. It talks about their results of operations and financial condition. Essentially, they're sharing some financial information. What they've done here is attached an earnings presentation. This is a presentation that walks through how the company performed during the quarter that ended on the 30th of September 2025. They're not giving us the raw numbers directly in this 8, but they're pointing us to this presentation for all the details. They also mention they plan to use this presentation in investor meetings and a webcast. This exhibit is the real treasure trove. It is their third quarter 2025 earnings presentation. This is where financial analysts and investors will be digging for the actual performance data, while the 8K itself doesn't spill the beans on specific numbers. It serves as the official announcement that this presentation is now available and contains important updates. The language also notes that this information is furnished rather than filed, which has some legal implications regarding liability, but for us, it means they are releasing this information to the public. And this last exhibit, the cover page interactive file, is basically a digital version of the report that computers can read and process easily. It's what makes the data searchable and more accessible for analysis platforms. Considering the filing itself doesn't contain the detailed financial tables that would let us do a deep dive into their exact earnings, net income, or other key performance indicators here, we have to infer what the story is based on the fact that they are releasing an earnings presentation. What this tells us is that Hilltop Holdings Incorporated is sharing information about their recent financial performance. The purpose of an earnings presentation is usually to communicate how the company is doing to investors and analysts, often highlighting successes or explaining challenges. So what can we gather from this? The very act of filing this 8 with an attached earnings presentation signifies a point in time where Hilltop Holdings Incorporated is actively communicating its financial status. The specific date, the 23rd of October 2025, is the anchor for this communication about the quarter ending the 30th of September. This filing is essentially a signpost directing everyone to go look at that earnings presentation for the actual financial story. Without the actual presentation, we can't analyze specific numbers like revenue growth or profit margins in detail. However, we can speculate. Companies typically release earnings presentations when they have something noteworthy to share. This could be exceptionally strong performance, significant changes, or perhaps something that needs careful framing. The fact they are presenting this before the end of October for a quarter that ended in September implies they are likely on or ahead of schedule with their reporting. Now, looking at the broader picture and what this filing implies, Hilltop Holdings Incorporated is operating in an environment where transparency about financial health is paramount. By sharing this earnings presentation, they are engaging with the market, aiming to either reassure investors of their stability and growth, or perhaps to explain a complex situation. The key takeaway is that an important financial update has been released, and the detailed narrative will be found within the accompanying earnings presentation. It's a signal that the company believes its performance warrants this level of public discourse. Any investor or analyst interested in Hilltop Holdings Incorporated would immediately then seek out that Exhibit 99.1 to understand the actual financial story and impact. Alright, that is our breakdown of what this Hilltop Holdings Incorporated filing is all about. It is a standard procedure for companies to keep investors informed. But the real story is hidden within that earnings presentation they've attached. Without it, we're left to understand the importance of the announcement rather than the details of the performance. What are your thoughts on companies using these 8K filings to point to separate presentations for financial data? Do you find it efficient or a bit of a runaround? Let me know in the comments below. If this quick decode was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more corporate insights. Also, join our Discord community for more in-depth discussions. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.